Hey Magic players, it's time once again for another budget deck tech. Ben came up with a great budget version of the Rally/Aristocrats deck. Let's check out our budget Rally. This deck hinges around Nantuko Husk and Rally the Ancestors. The Nantuko has an amazing ability. You get to sacrifice a creature and it gets bigger. Rally lets us bring creatures back from our graveyard for a bit so that we can sack them to the Husk again and so that we can benefit from the enter the battlefield triggers. To help us take advantage of the Husk's ability and to make things more efficient, we have 4 Zulaport Cutthroats and 3 Pious Evangels. Every time a creature you control dies, the Zulaport pings your opponent for 1 and gives you 1 life. With the Pious Evangel, every time a creature enters under your control, you gain a life. Then whenever you're ready, you can flip him into the Wayward Disciple and he becomes basically another Zulaport Cutthroat. And to make things even better, we have 4 Catacomb Sifters and 2 Grim Haruspex. The Catacomb Sifter gives us an extra body when it enters the battlefield, and then whenever one of your creatures dies, we get to scry. And then the trigger from the Haruspex kicks in and we get to draw a card because that creature died. This combo gets ridiculously powerful. Never underestimate scry and draw effects. Next on the roster we have 4 Satyr Wayfinders, 2 Fleshbag Marauders, and 3 Renegade Ralliers. These creatures help us quite a bit because of their powerful enter the battlefield abilities. The Satyr Wayfinder helps feed our graveyard to make our rally more powerful and helps us constantly make those essential land drops. Well, I have to admit, I cannot stand the Fleshbag Marauder. It's really powerful. When it enters the battlefield, both players have to sacrifice a creature. You can even sacrifice the Marauder to itself if you ever find yourself in a situation where you don't have any other creatures. If you trigger Revolt, the Renegade Rallier has a sort of mini rally effect. When it comes in, it brings back a creature with CMC 2 or less from the graveyard back to the field. This can come in very handy when you want to get back a Zulaport to keep your opponent losing life steadily. Now we have some legendary creatures that fit nicely with our strategy. We have 2 Ayli the Eternal Pilgrim and 2 Yahenni the Undying Partisan. With all the life you're going to be gaining, Ayli is a great fit here. Once you get to 30 life or more, you can pay 3 land, sack a creature, and it lets you get rid of a permanent, well, non-land permanent, but still it's insanely powerful. Also, that Death Touch will keep your opponent in check. Yahenni is going to be a pain for your opponent to deal with. He has haste and gets bigger every time one of their creatures die. Now, also, you can make him indestructible by just sacking one of your own creatures. Whew, so that was a lot of creatures. Now, besides Rally the Ancestors, we have 2 more non-creature spells, 2 Grapple with the Past and 2 Cryptolith Rite. Grapple with the Past feeds our graveyard. It lets us pick up a creature or land from our graveyard and bring it back in our hand. This comes in extremely handy in case one of your husks ends up in the graveyard. Cryptolith Rite is a great card. It turns all your creatures into mana dorks, which makes for excellent mana ramping. And now for our mana base. We start off with playsets of both Evolving Wilds and Sandsteppe Citadel, and then 3 Foul Orchards. Then we have 3 Tranquil Expanse and 1 Rogue's Passage. The Rogue's Passage ability is extremely powerful. It lets you make a creature unblockable. Basically, you can take your Nantuko Husk, make him as big as possible, and swing to win the game. And then after that, we just have 3 basic forests, 2 plains, and 2 swamps. And that's it for our mana base. And now here are some sideboard options for you. Now keep in mind that this will vary depending on your local meta. You can add Valorous Stance, it's a good fit here. It can keep your Nantuko Husk safe and it can help you get rid of a blocker on their end. Quarantine Field is great all around. Reclamation Sage is great for artifact and enchantment hate. It also fits nicely with the theme of the deck. And lastly, To the Slaughter is also a great fit in here. And well, that brings us to the end of the video. Go ahead and leave us a comment to let us know what you think of the deck or any changes you'd like to make. Also, if you like the video, please make sure to like and subscribe. I know it sounds boring, but it does help us a great deal when figuring out what content to bring you. Again, this is Brian from MTGFrontierGuide. You guys get out there, play some Magic, and have fun. Bye.